Now, I wanna focus on something you said because I think it's so tremendously cool. So you said you went from a 2.5 GPA to 3.8 in your
Yeah.
last 2 years. Could you just share with us what'd you do? What changes did you make that allowed that to happen?
Well, I think for one, it was motivation,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I was focused. Like I said, I had like professors that understood me.
Mm-hmm.
Just going through this process
Yeah.
of education, right? And so I think that for one, just to be inspired and motivated and to be able to focus, having the support network of professors and other students that
Mm-hmm.
you study with them together,
Mm-hmm.
you go to class, right? And so just staying focused and motivated was for me was really important.
Yeah.
And I think that that was key because once I had that in place, then I was able to do well in class.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I think I couldn't focus, right? Or I wasn't interested in
Yeah.
classes. So, um, I mean, I was interested more in working because I
Right.
throughout my college undergrad, I worked full time as well,
Mm.
like
Mm.
either part time or full time most. And so, like it was kind of distracting to
Yeah.
have that, right? To be working and then trying to balance it with school. But I think my once I was able to focus, I think I being busy was actually a good thing
Mm-hmm.
that that you're able to do more
Mm-hmm.
within the same amount of time that you had. And I think sometimes
Yeah.
like for when I talk to or work with a lot of first year students, like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them have too much free time.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Like so, like I think just it's something simple like time management is really important
Mm-hmm.
for many college students to learn, right? And so I think for me, like uh, realizing that being busy was actually a really good thing to
Mm-hmm.
to balance everything.
So do you have any words of encouragement to students right now who, let's say, they're like sophomores right now and they have a low GPA, but they hear your story. Any encouraging words you want to tell them right now?
Well, like I said, it's not too late, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like me, even though it may be low, your 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 second, third, fourth year, you can
Mm-hmm.
definitely improve. You can still bring up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I would say like just what's hard is like if you drop classes or you
Mm-hmm.
you fail classes, that maybe won't be as great, right? But
Mm-hmm.
but you'll still be able to graduate, and I mean, there's still a lot of opportunity that you can do after you graduate too.
Awesome. So I want to talk about just a little bit about your time at UC San Diego. How long were you there for before you got your master's?
The master program was 2 years,
2 years.
and then
Okay.
yeah, so after that, I finished most of my classes, and the whole time I was there, in my 4 years there, I also taught as a graduate um,
Mm-hmm.
teaching assistant, and so
Mm-hmm.
I think that a lot of students that are going to grad school they worry about how they're gonna pay for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so um, the thing with the University of California graduate program is like many of them will offer you a TA-ship, and so
Mm-hmm.
you'll be teaching, and most of your tuition will be paid for by the school, and so that's how a lot of us are able to go through grad school is going through that route where they pay us to teach, and
Mm-hmm.
then we get like a salary, and then we most of the tuition is paid for by the school. So that's different from like other schools where you may have to work or you may
Mm-hmm.
have to find pay take out loans and things like that. And so um, I I think when students apply for grad school, they have to research and look into the funding that's available
Mm-hmm.
for which schools that they want to go to.
And what what would you say? So now that you've gone through graduate school, for college students right now who are looking to become grad students, what's something you think they won't? What's something that's surprising about graduate school that you've learned that you want to kind of warn students ahead of time that hey, look out for this when you become a grad student? Anything like that that sticks out to your mind?
I think just the one thing that really surprised me was like the level of work that you have to commit
Mm.
to.
Uh huh.
And so I think that it's not that the people that get into grad school, like they're intelligent,
Mm-hmm.
they're capable,
Right.
and a lot of it just depends on, I would say, what's that word? I would say like it's just that if they could sacrifice.
Uh
I
huh.
would say sacrifice, because you have to, in terms of your family life,
Mm-hmm.
your social life, you- um, a lot of time in grad school you can't work
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
other things, right? And
Right.
so I would say like it's important to balance that out with everything else in
Mm-hmm.
life, and so it requires a lot of sacrifice because you're gonna be, doing a lot of reading and writing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're gonna be like locked up, you're gonna
Right.
be isolated,
Yeah.
and so I think that that's the reason why a lot of people can't finish or they don't um, complete because like
Mm-hmm.
other things come up in life, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's one of the things that people have to really think about. Like if you want to go back to grad school, or even if like why is it so hard for me to go back, even though I'm
Mm-hmm.
teaching and doing all this stuff because like it requires that commitment, and
Mm-hmm.
I think for me right now I can't do that, right?
Mm.
Like I can't for the next 3 years I can't just write, and so
Yeah. Yeah. Um, now I didn't ask you this, but I know you're married and you have kids, correct?
yes.
Where did that come out and during your academic progress? Were you married and did you have kids while you're a grad student, or did that come afterwards? Just kind of
No, I
curious.
was I was like a late bloomer.
Uh huh.
And so like most of my cousins my age, they were already married.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was when I was 28 when I during grad school, my fourth year
Uh huh.
when I got decided to get married.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so like like that's like typically a lot of Hmong guys like
Mm-hmm.
they especially being the oldest, right, in the
Mm-hmm.
family, usually they get married, and
Right.
so I like out of my cousins that are around my age, I was one of the very last one.
I see. I see. Yeah,
Like
I was just kind of curious because I know a
yeah,
lot of especially for us in the Hmong community, it's not uncommon to be a husband and a dad while you're in grad school, you know,
yeah,
and
it's not
so
common. Yeah.
and so just wanted to see if you had any thoughts on that. But all right, great. I wanna ask you, saying about some of the lessons you've learned over your teaching career so far and your academic career so far. Looking over those many years, were there any valuable lessons you've learned that you want to share with us?
Um, I think for me, like, because I was also very involved with student organizations
Mm-hmm.
and also doing community work in addition to academic, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, like that part of being in college also helped me focus my academic in a way because I saw that like a lot of things that we learn in a classroom, it doesn't stop there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like a lot of the community work that I was able to do was really enable me to do better in school,
Mm-hmm.
right? But on the other hand, I also um, saw like a lot of friends that were really active and then
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't balance that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they weren't able to either maintain their grades or
Mm-hmm.
they weren't able to focus on school. And
Mm-hmm.
so like I mean, being active and doing all the extra volunteer work, it could be helpful, but it could also be distracting. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think that for students that are really active, like I would just encourage them to try to maintain a balance,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because like all the things that you want to do or you want to try to help the community,
Mm-hmm.
like all these issues in the community, they're still gonna be there,
Mm-hmm.
like after you're done with college, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
like don't rush to try to save the world or
Yeah.
try to solve all these issues because you may not be able to yet, right? And then it takes time. And so I would really encourage that students today to focus on academics and then get that degree, and then you can come back to the community to work on things that you're really passionate about.
All right. Wonderful. Um, Thinking about students who are looking to go to grad school and are looking to go into, let's say the humanities or social sciences, let's say social sciences, and, they're looking to go that route. Having gone through that process, what's some practical advice you want to give them that they can put into practice right now?
I would say like talk to your professors,
Mm-hmm.
try to get into opportunities that research or internships, things
Mm-hmm.
like that, that will help you stand out. And I think that for many of the Hmong students that I taught to or mentor,
Mm-hmm.
like they may have done well academically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they complete a bachelor's degree, but they have none of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's hard for them to, let's say, even find like a job, right? And so I would suggest that, like build your networks and build your relationships with the people around you, your professors, other support staff, because they can really provide you with opportunities. They'll open a door for you, and but it's really on the students to also step through that door to look for those opportunities. Because if you don't go talk to your professors or other mentors, then how will you know about these opportunities that are coming up, right? And so I think for me, I would that's one of the things that I didn't really able to get to do that until I went to grad school. And so having that today would really help your application when you're applying to grad school.